Welcome back, friends. In today's session we are going to continue with our discussion on the Auxins, and today we are going to continue with the rules of Auxins. So if you are together with me in my previous session, I hope you have already understood about the different experiment done on the discovery of Auxin, and to some extent I think you can understand even some of the rules of Auxin in plants. Now let's start our discussion on the rules of Auxins. Firstly, they promote cell division and cell elongation, hence growth of the stem. Cell division and cell elongation. However, as how we shall see later, there are different kinds of phytohormones which work in synergism, that means in supporting fashion with Auxin to promote their effects in plants. Also, the second rule of Auxin is that they also promote production of other hormones. And the third rule, they facilitate production of phototrophic response, that means they have effect on phototropism, as how we shall see later. In this session I will discuss about how Auxin, the experimental demonstration of Auxin, how Auxin they tend to affect phototropism, and then they stimulate cambium, subtype of meristematic cells, to divide, and in stems they cause secondary xylem to differentiate. So as you can see, all of these, for example, this point, it is the part of plant growth, but because of certain type of cell which are specifically stimulated in the plants, that's why we put it as an individual point. Another point is that they promote apical development but inhibit lateral body development. Now when we are talking of apical development, that means the apex of the plant. So in the Auxin, they always promote the development or the growth of the apex of the plant, while they inhibit the lateral buds. Na ndo maana kwenye normal life phenomena, kama ni mkulima, unakuta wakitaka mti fulani either wa maua utambae au yani utande sehemu kubwa, wanakata ile tip. Tunaposema apical, that means ile tip ambayo ni ya juu. Kwa mfano tulivyotolea mfano, this can be as apical, na pia tunaweza kuwa tuna lateral buds ambazo zinatoka pembeni. So these are lateral, then this is apical. Kwa tukikati apical, that means, remember, this apex is where the Auxins they are produced, as how we discussed in synthesis and distribution. Kwa tukikata hii apex, that means remove part ya plant ambayo ina produce Auxin, and at the end of the day tukisha remove hapa, manake we will have no Auxin. Tukiwa hatuna Auxin, that means tutapromote nini? Tutapromote development of lateral buds. Kwa hiyo ni moja kati ya function ya Auxin ambayo ina application sana hata kwenye real life, kwenye maisha nayoishi. Unakuta kama mti anataka uwe wa kivuli, basi they cut that apex ili uweze kuspread, matawi yake yaweze kukava sehemu kubwa, mti utumike vizuri kwa ajili ya kivuli. That is because in apex the Auxins they are produced. So by cutting the apex of that plant, tunasababisha Auxin zipungue production, na hence tunasababisha tuweze kuwa na mti ambao utatanda sana matawi yake. And then from there we have Auxin promote flowering in pineapples. Promote flowering in pineapples. This is different from what we call a parthenocarp, ambapo tunasema kwamba Auxin hormone may stimulate fruit development without fertilization. Fruit development without fertilization. As we know in the plants that we need to do fertilization first, and then later after fertilization we'll have the fruit development. Fruit is the result of fertilization. However, auxins, they can stimulate the fruit development in some of the plants without fertilization, and that is what we call as parthenocapy or parthenocapy. And if you are asked to define parthenocapy is the development of fruit without fertilization. Kwa tuna flower, and the flower tend to develop a fluid without being fertilized by pollen grains. And this is different from what we discussed in the previous point, that auxins, they promote flowering in pineapples. Because that means kama tukawa tuna mananasi, pineapples tukawa na mananasi, then yakawa hayatoi maua, tunaweza tukayaspread, tukayapulizia, tukaspray them with auxins, and then auxins, they can stimulate flowering. Then another effect, they inhibit abscission. Sometimes it is called as pre-fall of fruits. Kama umeshawaishi maeneo ambayo kuna maembe, most often this is experienced in maembe as compared with the other types of fruits. Kwa kwenye maembe nakuta what happens ni kwamba maembe kabla hayajakomaa yanakuwa yanaanguka, and most often, I don't know in your language, but most often for our language we call them as malokelo. Kwa maembe kabla hayajakomaa yanakuwa mateta, yanaanguka. That is what we call as abscission. Now in abscission, that means tuna flower nyingi, tukatengeneza fruits nyingi, lakini zile fruits zisifike maturation. Kwa maana at the end of the day we'll end up with a few fruits reaching maturation. And the best way to prevent that is by spraying auxins. So auxins, they will prevent the pre-falling of fruits, and a large number of fruit at the end of the day will reach the maturation age. Kwa hiyo that's very important in commercial application. And also abscission sometimes is how we discuss later on abscisic acid. It is the falling of leaves, and most often leaves zinakuwa kama zimezeeka, and then soon they are falling. So auxins zinaweza kufanya kazi ku extend the lifetime, So another function or another rule, they promote development of roots from cutting. Auxins inaweza promote development of roots from cutting, and this we call it as rooting. Kwa tunaweza tuna a piece of tree, then we can dip it into auxins. After dipping it into auxins, tunaenda kuidip kwenda kuifukia kwenye mchanga. That will be very easier for the piece of wood to develop roots or to start rooting as compared without auxins. So auxins tend to just promote rooting, and then it promote lateral and adventitious root development. So the effect of auxins on roots and shoot is most often as if they are antagonistic. Concentration of auxins which tend to stimulate shoot development, it inhibits root development, and this is the last point here. In low concentration, auxins, they promote growth in roots. However, higher concentration of auxins inhibit growth in roots and promote growth of shoots. So the low concentration of auxins tend to promote growth of roots, but that low concentration of auxins which promote growth of roots, it is insufficient, yani hai affect chochote kwenye growth of of shoot. Kwa hiyo unakuja kuona tunavyo increase concentration of auxins in order to increase the growth of shoot, we are inhibiting the growth of fruit. We shall see it in detail later on the graphical explanation. Lakini pia hata kwenye roots, hii hapa ina promote sana lateral and adventitious root development. Sio sawa na kule ambako tuliona kwenye apex ina stimulate apical growth, ina inhibit lateral body development. Wakati kwenye roots ina promote development of lateral roots. Kwa effect ya Auxins hapo unaweza kuona kabisa kwamba it is different, ni different na kule kwenye shoot ambako ina inhibit the development of lateral buds. Now we have different diagrams here and graphs which tend to demonstrate the function of Auxins, but because we don't want to make the session longer and I don't want to make you tiresome, so better end up here, and then in the next session we discuss about these are diagrammatic explanation of the role of Auxins in different parts of the plant. For example, here we have the shoot, coleoptile tip or coleoptile shoot. Then I will have again this is the shoot. Also we'll have the roots here. We'll discuss this diagrammatic explanation on the function of Auxins, and then later we'll end up our discussion on Auxins, discussing with the commercial application. Thank you everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and then to share the link of this video to your fellow students. Thank you. I wish you nice studies.